Today in Smackey's Garage, we're going to be adding an OBD port to our LS1 kit car. Now, the car behind me is a factory 5 GTM. It's running a Corvette LS1 engine from 2001. It still has the original wiring harness, which has been modified, and it's running the PCM from the 2001 Corvette. The engine's back in there. I'm running into a lot of issues trying to get it to actually have the PCM do something. So we're going to wire in an OBD port onto something that would be similar to an LS swap, and we're going to get it to work. Now, if you don't know what an OBD2 port is, it's a port that looks like this, where you can take your reader or your standard car reader, you can plug it into it, and you can see what codes the computer is putting out. On some of them, you can actually see some of the stats from the computer to see how it's performing, what are the readings of different sensors, and I'm hoping this is going to give me a little bit more insight into why the car is not running and why some of the signals aren't turning on. Now, this is what the OBD2 port looks like. On this, there's going to be a few different connectors that we need to have installed. You need to have the signal line, so the purple wire, which is the serial data line in position 2. You need to have 2 grounds. You need pin 4 and pin 5. Both of those need to be grounded. And then on pin 16, the orange wire, you need that to be an always on 12 volt source. Note that it's an always on source and not a switched ignition source. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to wire it into the computer here, and we're going to mount it so that we can use it to see if there's any codes. The OBD2 port should really be up under the dash by the steering wheel of the car, because especially if you're going to be getting your car inspected, that's the first place that they're going to look. So we would put it there, but since everything's still taken apart and I don't actually have a dash in the car yet, I'm going to end up putting the OBD2 port back here in the engine compartment for good access. So where I'm going to mount it on this car is I'm actually going to put it up here. I think I could probably use the holes here, maybe extend them a little bit to get it in position. And that'll allow me to ground it maybe to the chassis here and run the power wires directly to the computer. So it shouldn't be too bad of a project. So I'm going to go ahead, first I'm going to mount it, and then we're going to wire it in. Now I'm going to put this right here, and it looks like the holes are pretty close to lining up, where I could actually probably get a screw in without having to worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these pins off, and then we'll go ahead and screw it down. Now, to figure out which pin, we're going to use a Corvette service manual for the year, just so you have the correct PCM for it. Oh look, I opened right to it. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be on the blue connector for this car. We're going to be pin 58. It's going to be serial data. It's going to be a dark green wire color. Make sure you check on your car, because it might be different depending on the year vehicle you have. Now, got the OBD2 port wired in. The ground is right here, so both of them are connected here. The orange line is going to the power, so the positive 12 volts. And then this purple line is going directly to the PCM. That should be enough to be able to get signal on this and be able to see what's going on with the car. Now that I have my OBD2 plug completely wired up, I should be able to just plug this in, and it turns on and reads codes. We have power. Okay, so we do have light on. Let's go ahead and read the codes. P0452, evap emission system pressure sensor, switch and low. I don't actually think I have that on the car. It was as easy as that to put the OBD port on an LS1 computer when you're doing a swap. So now I can take the next step and try to figure out what's actually wrong with my car. Thanks for tuning in this week on Smackey's Garage. I'll see you next time.